35. Welcome, champions.
No, not yet.
Get out of the way, Steven.
They aren't welcome yet.
Steven thought it was too much blue.
There he goes.
Welcome back.
How you doing?
Good.
It's been a while.
It has. We're at the new bar here at the store in Phoenix. So this is much different than a table, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not to put my hands here or just to sit like this.
I know. I usually try to sit up nice and prim and proper at the bar. It feels a little different here.
It feels a lot different. These chairs need to go up just another few inches. It'll be good.
2 inches and I'd be happy.
But we'll work with this today, right?
Yeah.
And I know you got a laundry list of stuff, and we haven't been around for a while, so we'll catch up. I've got some things to talk about and put my 2 cents out there. We'll bring Steven in. You guys are going to do some reviews on discs. And then Steven and I are going to talk about the Squatch bag, his bag and my bag, our likes and dislikes about it.
Yeah. Because you've got the legend and the lore, which are the top two at the moment for Squatch.
Yeah. And I've only got a couple rounds in with it, but I can already tell a lot of things that are way above average and other things that aren't.
There's been nothing but good reviews that I've gotten.
It's all good.
But I didn't like it, so I'm kind of happy to hear you and Steven go to town on what you guys like.
Well, there's a couple of things, and I'll bring them up. But I think everyone's preferences are going to be different.
Yeah,
how you measure
always.
what matters and what doesn't matter, right? How do you measure it? It might not matter to you, but it matters to me.
Yeah.
So it's impossible for anyone to get it perfect, but it's a great bag. High quality.
Well made, yeah.
It must be waterproof because there's nothing on the bottom.
Yeah, it's clean as a whistle. And I used this one before you, so.
I know you did. And it sort of shocks me that there isn't more of a base.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a soft bottom, they call it.
Yeah.
That's how the pound bags are, too, soft bottom.
Yeah.
Just really, really durable material, so you can plop it down on rocks, trees, whatever.
Yeah.
It'll handle it.
Well,
what do we need to dive into first here?
soft bottom.
We've already.
I just thought
Don't
that
be
funny.
gross.
Soft
These
bottom.
guys will not let go of my bottom.
Steven. Help. All right. What's on your agenda? Do you want to talk about Portland? Or I haven't been around for a while. You guys have been running the show. So.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to talk about with Portland.
Okay.
Everybody already knows, spoiler alert, Paige Pierce took it down.
Ah, yes.
And how awesome was that to see her level of conviction looks just like when she was back in her dominant days.
Okay.
It was like kind of nice to have that presence back.
Okay.
Listening to a couple other podcasts today and seeing people talk about like, oh, well, it wasn't a deeper level of competition. That has nothing to do with how well she played. She was throwing that fierce all over the place. It was absolutely incredible.
Did you see the end? Did she get emotional? I heard she got a little emotional.
It didn't really seem like it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
I guess I didn't really. I was kind of working the store, so I didn't really get to pay full attention. But I didn't get that vibe out of her. Maybe it did feel good to get back in the winner's circle for her when she broke her leg last year on her plant foot too, which is just horrifying to think about. The trust in that is scary.
Yeah, that's a bad injury.
One tidbit about that tournament was watching her play the provisional. She hit the Mando tree and went through it. And that's a really great learning experience for anybody watching. Every disc golfer out there should learn from just how she played that, because she played the provisional and you play both shots to completion on the hole. And it was the same score at the end of the day. But getting to see that live on the course, to watch the pros do it, definitely watch how she played that and take note for when you're in a tournament and there's a questionable call, just play a provisional. Always play a provisional.
Yeah.
You can save you a lot of strokes and heartache at the end of the day. Because if you get it wrong, then that becomes a misplay on top of it. So not only do you take the score that you took, potentially, but now you're playing the misplay on top of it, which is a couple strokes.
Yeah.
That's a few places in the worst cases.
Is that not common? Because coming from the golf world, that's as common as any other
Pretty
rule.
standard, right?
Pretty standard. If you're unsure, call a provisional, play the provisional. They'll decide at the when you're in which score is going to be the valid score.
Yeah, you take it to the TD at the end of it.
Right.
Well, in disc golf, people have shot themselves in the foot for not playing the provisionals. I mean, even in my tournaments, I've had to stroke a lot of people based on you played
Doing
the
wrong
hole
thing
incorrectly.
Right.
Yes.
That's a tough one too, and then they're going to be mad at you, and it's not your fault. All they had to do was play a provisional. Okay.
But that was just really, really exciting.
Well, she threw it in too, right?
Oh my God!
Like
On that not misplay, the provisional, she threw her Crystal Fierce just dead nuts onto the basket. It was beautiful.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she took a 3 either way. It was awesome.
Right. Yep. Got it. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to say.
Well, I've got my personal feelings towards Paige Pierce. I know I'm not a huge fan anymore, and I've kind of dragged her name through the mud for the past however many years since I thought she kind of left her great mental state. But there's nothing against her as a disc golfer. She's a great disc golfer.
Right. Beautiful throw.
Yep. Very mechanical in her putt, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to say. You know, she's been playing disc golf her whole life. She never really. It just seems as though it's the last few years. It seemed as though it was getting paid to go on vacation. Paige Pierce.
Not so serious about disc golf anymore.
Less about winning, more about experiencing life, going to concerts, doing whatever you have to. The kind of a minimalistic type of deal.
So the job wasn't the priority.
It didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
And maybe we just don't have the right perspective. Sitting here, we're talking heads, right? We're not out there following her around and really seeing how she's grinding. But it didn't seem like it. But the injury may have woke her up a little bit to how important the game is to her. And
she probably missed it.
Yeah, and then seeing Kristen do as well as she's done probably gnaws a little bit on, if you're a real competitor at heart.
Yeah.
You know, she's taken all your thunder. She got to 1,000 rated before you did, and everyone calls her the best in the world. And deep down, I'm sure you think and feel you are, right?
That's what she's been saying.
Right. So it's, I'm sure it was a bad set of circumstances, but in the end, it may have helped her career.
Well, and
it's hard to say.
Honestly, kind of love to see it, and
Yeah.
I would love to see her continue the positive mindset of that, and
Yeah, for sure.
keep the game at the forefront for sure. Because we all want to see disc golf succeed, and she's a part of it. And she's doing a good job, man. You got to support disc golf.
Well, I like all these new names popping off this year.
Emily Wetterman,
From
Donica. I
yes,
think is how you pronounce it.
exactly. Yeah,
the Canadian that went to Harvard. My goodness.
Yeah, it's so great. And Steen or Stein or
Sten, I think is how you pronounce it. The Nord.
Absolutely fantastic. Our cat merch is always entertaining, and she's kind of gotten her name in the mix.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all good.
The women's field gets deeper, man.
It's looking good for the women.
Continuing to get deeper, which is great.
Yep, I'm happy for them.
Really cool time to be part of disc golf.
I think so.
Getting to see this kind of growth in the pro field.
I think there's some clarity now that the COVID bubble's sort of over, right? You're seeing.
True, yeah.
You're sort of seeing that where everything's sort of settled now, and some clarity on maybe what's coming down the road and how we're going to get there, instead of all of this sort of frenzied buying and.
It's exactly what it was.
Different sort of stimulation that the sport, had been used to.
Uh-huh.
Now it's sort of settling back in, but there's a lot of drive, it seems to me, to move the sport even further forward. And I think it all has to do, bottom line, with how far some of these guys are throwing discs, and it's creating interest outside of the sport, because when you tell people that they're throwing 600 feet, everyone I talk to goes, what?
Yeah, that's really far.
600 feet?
3 football fields?
2.
Oh, 2. 300 feet is 1 football field? 100?
Yeah.
100 yards, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, 100 yards is 300 feet, I'm pretty sure. Steven, we'll go to you on this one.
Yeah, could you look that up?
It's 200.
It's 200. I was really hoping to see the Portland Open get more television coverage like it did last year. I know there was a lot of hype around the fact that Portland Open was going to be on ESPN, or was it CBS, one of the two major channels.
At the end of the year.
It was a big bit of hype, and everybody was assigned as a disc golfer the duty to go watch it just to get the viewership up.
Yeah.
Because why is like competitive tag and like cornhole making TV more often than disc golf?
Right.
I see that stuff on TV way too often.
Right.
Like,
But there's something about Oregon and how green it is and how well it comes across on television.
that ball golf course was just gorgeous.
That's the one that you want people to see.
For sure.
Right? Not some desert course or some really wooded course where it's hard.
Northwoods Black. And
You want them to see Oregon because it's a great introduction into the sport. You get to see the flight of the disc almost all the time, and there's some really big,
very unique shots. You see them having to throw some really wild stuff off the tee.
Yeah, and they're giving it.
Yeah.
They really are. I was surprised Anthony wasn't for sure a top 5.
He was kind of up and down.
Yeah. No, I don't even know if he finished top 40, did he?
No.
I think he was way down.
Was he that far down? I thought he made the cash.
It was his second worst round of his career.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah,
second worst of his career. Well, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
40th place is your second worst of your whole career. That's
So sometimes you know that's the peaks and valleys in this.
Yeah.
Any professional sport or amateur sport, you have your good weeks and your bad weeks. And
part of the game, man. We all do it.
Yeah, he'll work through it. You know, you don't know what his distractions are right now and everything else, and we all put our expectations pretty high now.
Well, and really, Portland might
guys.
not just be his course.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
You kind
and
of
it rained like all day Sunday.
The last day,
Yeah.
It came down pretty hard.
Yeah, and he's from Arizona. We don't get a great deal of rain here.
We don't have grass here.
Yeah.
Trees.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against him. I'd like to see him hot going into Europe though, because I really want him to. I really want to
another
see.
show?
Yes, I want to see him
Yeah.
do something special this year because he was 3 holes away from doing it last year.
Yes, he was.
And, but it's obvious. I think Ricky's playing incredibly consistent.
Yeah, he is.
He's always at the top. He's always sort of in the mix. And what's weird is that you don't see him coming because they've been putting him in different cards. If you've noticed the last couple of weekends, and he just rises right back up to those television cards, right? So I love it. I think he's going to have a hell of a year. Everyone's kind of getting on him for not winning. I don't see it that way at all. I see it as he is one of the most consistent players.
Those are the same people that were telling us
next to Gannon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Calvin.
Well, those naysayers are just the same people that were giving Tatara a hard time saying she was washed up at the beginning of the year because she wasn't winning.
Oh my God, no.
It's the same exact case.
I think if we looked at some of the stats, we'd probably find that there are second half players and there are first half players.
Yeah, I think we actually hit on that a little bit in an earlier episode. Yeah, just a little bit. We should dive back into that though, because that's important to see.
I would be curious to see that too, because Simon's another example. We have him on behind us here. He's already won. He's had the second baby now. He's had some time to sit at home, and apparently he's not getting any sleep because I did see his last vlog.
Yeah, with that robot.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. And he just was honest. He just said, I'm not sleeping at all. So it's going to take him a while to get back into the groove of tournament play. But he will get back in the groove.
Absolutely.
And I think he's going to Europe this year, isn't he?
I would hope so.
I think he is. I didn't think he went last year, so.
Someone came in and pointed out a really funny take on Simon, because you see his finishes from the start of the year till he won was like 20 places better. It's like he started at 80th, then he finished at 60th, then he finished at 40th, 20th, and then he won. And then time to take a break for a second.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's his rhythm.
It does. It seems like he doesn't come back. He'll play 1 or 2 good rounds and then you'll slide. Something will happen where he can't complete it. But then the following week he's a little better, the following week he's better, and then there's a win.
Kind of working into the season, I guess.
It's just how he seems to roll. He gets better with sort of that tournament.
The rhythm, right? Like
just maybe it is a rhythm.
Coming into it.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, just being in it. You're not flying home. You're not. Your head isn't in and then out and then back in again. It's when he's traveling, he's on the road for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. He's getting tired, he's getting exhausted, and he talks about it, but he's playing incredible because he's in it.
Yeah.
Like, right? So I think he just has that personality where he has to be in it and almost exhausted because he's in it
Yes, so well
yeah.
invested into it mentally and physically.
Exactly. Is that what I'm trying to say?
It sounds like it.
I think so. Well, yeah. So Portland, aesthetically, one of the best tournaments.
Gorgeous.
I love watching it. Thursday's round was the prettiest, maybe disc golf I've seen in a long, long time.
It
With
was
the
so
weather, blue skies, green course, great throws.
Yep.
It was
Beautiful
fun.
shots.
It was fun. I loved it. More of that, please.
Well, we got Beaver State next.
Right. It's a little more wooded.
Yep.
A little different track.
Yep. A little more water too, I think.
Yeah. Eagle win it last year? I think so. He did.
Dang. Nice.
Yeah. So he'll be tough to beat, I think, up there.
We'll see. He's still kind of working into the season at the moment.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's hungry though, right?
Yeah, I bet he's starving.
Yeah. I think he's really hungry for a win with a new sponsor, and I'd be surprised if he didn't surface as a real contender on the last day.
Well, he's been coming out to play the last couple tournaments. He's thrown down some good
Yeah.
scores. So
I think Gossage too might pop off this week. That would be my dark horse pick, even though he's not a dark horse. But I think Gossage at Beaver State.
Yeah. Beaver State Fling.
I think the Goose Man.
Good pick.
Yeah. The Goose is going to take down the Beaver. What's wrong?
No, Steven hated it.
You're disagreeing.
We're gonna have to edit that out. Steven didn't like the joke.
What's a joke? AB? Yeah, well, you can't bet against AB.
No,
But that's not really outside the
not
lines.
quite a dark horse pick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, AB, let's see, Gannon?
was fourth this week, so I mean,
Oh
Yeah,
wow, I didn't realize he finished that high.
Yeah.
Good for him.
maybe barely made cash.
yeah.
So Gossage finished fourth this past week. That's
Yes,
fantastic.
that's why I think and he did really well at this, I think, last year too. So
Warmed up a little bit.
I predict the Goose Man has found his rhythm.
What's next?
I want to talk about local.
Oh,
And the effort we're making to bring Contecito, which is a 9-hole layout, but they have 18 tee pads, 9 baskets. So technically it's 18 holes, but to 9 baskets.
so they're all shared.
It's a lot of chaos, a little dangerous if you don't know what's going on, especially on a weekend.
You got to keep your head on a swivel.
So there's enough room out there to have a really good, not long or great or.
It's not going to be a gold
but
level course.
It'll
be a blue.
It's 6,400 feet stretched out the way this course is laid out. So we have a course that we put together that's 18 holes, and the city can still keep the soccer field that's out there. We actually have 2 holes that wrap around it. And we're going to, on the 15th of June,
That's right.
set it up for everyone to come on out, hit the donation box, we'd appreciate that, and go play it. We're asking, well, we'll take anything. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to throw in 20, we'll take it. If you want to throw in 10, we'll be happy with that. But I think we kind of said we want $10 to help get some money running towards this. So we think we're going to get this done, and we think we're, going to need to get the baskets and everything else done quickly behind it. So
Ideally, once you get
this
the
is-
go-ahead, you've really got to turn around and get it done.
Yeah, so this is a fundraiser, so everything's appreciated. You can donate here at the store. I think there's a link too on the site or somewhere.
Yeah, it's got our PayPal address, which is good for our Venmo as well.
Okay, PayPal address on.
It's on Disc Golf Scene.
There it is.
The course is on UDisc called the Full 18 Proposal.
Yeah, so it's not sanctioned. It's just to get everyone acquainted with what we're trying to do. Get the feedback. If you have something to say, we're obviously going to listen.
It's a very young course, so there's going to be a lot of feedback. We totally understand. We want to hear
Yeah.
it all, good and bad.
Yeah, but he'll handle the bad. I'll take the good.
I'm pretty good at that.
And yeah, you're awfully leathery. After TDing a bunch of tournaments here, you seem to be pretty leathery with the
And I've been giving you some of that too, just with some of the wording.
odd oddness.
You can't play a river as a hazard.
Right. Well, so
Because that will come up.
yeah. There was another thing I wanted to bring up about that.
The local?
Well, it's going to be a technical course.
There's 3 par 4s?
We designed it in a way so that there are mandos that are in place. The walkthrough that goes through there, it's considered a river, so that's going to play as OB. The sidewalk all the way around it will play as OB. The idea was even have the 2-meter rule if in tournament play, so you can't do big hyzers over certain things. You get caught in a tree, you'll pay the price for that. But there's a lot of mandos so that there's always a reason to go to where we want you to throw. And there's room to maneuver that. You know, it isn't just a small tunnel on every hole because of a mando. The mandos are apart, but we want to keep you going a certain way.
It's to keep people away from other people putting or other people teeing.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it just lends itself to making the course a little bit more, again, technical than harder.
Well, and it opens up for the full 18, so more people can play the course at once.
Yeah.
Which is important. When you play with more than 6 cards out there, you're throwing discs at each other.
Yeah.
And not everybody has the respect or etiquette to understand that you shouldn't throw 12 speeds at each other.
Right. Right.
I've been hit with more discs out there than anywhere.
Yeah. So the idea is that you're always moving away from where the next card is, or if you're on the back 9 and you're coming across to the front 9, back 9's on one side, front 9's on the other. So I think it flows pretty well.
I think it's a good layout. It's really very fun.
It's really fun. It's really, really fun. I think it's much more challenging than the current layout, front or back.
The mandos definitely make it difficult.
Because of the technicality and the 3 par 4s.
Yeah, and you start out with 2. 1 and 2 are par 4s.
Yeah, so I think, come on out this June 15th is when we'll set it up. We'll start, at like 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 in the morning, 7:30 in the morning?
Well, we're going to want to get out there early because it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
So I figured we'd get out there at 6, get all the baskets set up and out by 7.
How long will we keep it up?
I figured we'd probably tear it down in the dusk time, sometime
Okay.
around 6 p.m. That way we're not cooking in the sun again, dragging baskets out or back.
Okay. So we
So
do
it'll
night,
be a full day.
doing night golf?
We could even set up, I've got a full 18 of the umbrella lights. We could set up a glow round. It just depends on if we have enough volunteers to help, because it's a long day doing this already.
That'd be amazing you can play it both ways, day and night. That would be pretty fun.
It would be a blast. The glow layout would be gnarly.
Yeah, it would be really hard. Really hard, especially when you don't know this course that well. You know,
Yeah, I mean, with how,
there's a lot of trouble out there.
yeah, the baskets are going to be lit up, but shoot.
So just an idea. The other thing I was going to bring up was our friend is fighting this weekend.
Oh, Julian Marquez, yeah.
Julian Marquez. Everyone get on there. I think it's ESPN's covering the fight, UFC fight. Julian was, we interviewed him about a month and a half back.
Feels like a long time now, but it really wasn't that long ago.
And he was heavy into training at that point. He was in amazing shape, and he threw the disc, I don't know how many times, 50 or 60 times.
He couldn't
We
stop,
haven't seen
man.
anyone do it more than that yet. But we want to wish Julian all the best. We're rooting for you. Arizona's behind you all the way. I know he's already there, so hopefully you'll catch this, or at least know that we're thinking of him. It seems, I looked this up on contract years for athletes. There is about a 5% bump on average where their contract year, they're playing better than the previous year or the year after they get the contract signed.
Okay.
So that year where you're going into your contract, so let's say Anthony Barella is in a contract year, he's won 2 tournaments already. Mm-hmm. We're all looking at him to probably win another 2 at least, right?
With how early in the season he did it, yeah.
And Discraft isn't going to be able to probably pay him the same amount to represent their brand as they did 2 years ago, which I said always was a mistake giving him 2 years. They should have locked him in for 3 or 5. His upside was just that good. And everyone knew it. So
Well, we all in
But
Arizona knew it for
Now,
sure.
now he's licking his chops. Now good things are coming to Anthony. So, I think part of that focus gets squeezed in more so than when you get that contract and the following year they say there's a little bit of a drop off. I just think that focus, you're not as squeezed as much. You got the money, you got that stability, you got what you wanted, and so now it's a little bit of that. You can kind of come.
You see it with most players,
right?
You didn't see it with Rick, but you do see it with like Macbeth and some other.
Yeah,
and you see it with like the MLB.
Those guys are exceptions, not the rule. That's for sure. I think when I see Ulibarri popping off this year, Paul Ulibarri,
Had a good.
what's the one thing that's happening in his life that's bigger than anything that's ever happened to him before?
He got married.
It's one, and then consequences of that, childbirth.
Oh, the baby.
The baby's on the way.
Yeah.
So
little more motivated.
He just seems like, where was this guy the last 4 years? He's in every conversation every week.
He is, yeah. He's definitely putting it together, that's for sure.
He's putting it together. And I honestly believe that it has to do with what's happening in his personal life. He's a proud husband now, and he's going to be a dad. And I think it's like, boom, there's something that happens. We saw it with Simon.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Simon had the baby, got married, and all of a sudden he's winning.
Yeah.
Then he gets a contract, and he's still winning, right? So
Another baby.
yeah, another baby. It's really great, and I could go on. Like Jerem got a new house, and I heard him talking about it. And now he won a silver event this year already, and he's had some great tournaments.
Yeah, he's had some good showings for sure. With how deep the field is, yeah.
Right. And I don't know if you can look at Paige and sort of what's happened with her, and now she's won. And it seems to me that something squeezed her a little bit to get back on track, to get in that winner's circle, and to show people that it was a bad injury, but I'm back.
Yep. Prove to the
And,
world.
Yeah, there isn't just one person in the FBO field that can win every weekend. I can win too. That kind of, it just feels like that champion in her maybe is squeezed out a little bit more, and I think it's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
So, you think of anyone else that sort of falls into that you're seeing a great year out of?
That falls into that category. Rathbun. Yeah.
Rathbun.
He just got
Right?
engaged.
He said no to DD. It's a guaranteed money with dynamic disc, right?
Yep.
Walked away from it so
Smart
he could
man.
have an open bag, and he's in every weekend's
God,
conversation.
he's had such a good season.
Right?
It's so nice to see him just ripping.
So
I mean, this is the only tournament that he hasn't been in like contention. This was the first one, which
Yeah.
is stellar.
So that's sort of what my point is. That there seems to be a little bit of a squeeze with certain people that brings out the best in them.
Yeah.
And there's some proof in that with contracts with Major League Baseball players, with football players, that going into that contract they're playing the little bit higher percentages on what they typically have in the year before or the year after. So it's a real thing, and we're seeing it in disc golf, and I love it.
Something to it.
Yeah, I love it. So
That was a good Carp's Corner.
it was a little Carp's Corner. Thanks.
Good.
Thanks. Something to throw out.
I like that.
People thinking. All right. It's been a long week. It's only Wednesday, and I feel like it's Friday.
Oh, dude.
Sorry about that. Sorry my energy's a little low today. I mean, it's also 110 here in Phoenix, so
Yeah, it's a busy life and it's hot.
oof. We are not bragging on our,
No, summertime we got nothing to boast about.
this is the place to be.
We
This
still
is
play
the-
golf, but
This is the place, yeah, indoors. So come throw the disc at the,
come show me how to putt.
all right, guys. We'll bring in Steven. I'll see you on the end of this.
I feel so welcome.
Oh, and I forgot, we really need to make it a point to introduce ourselves going into the episodes. I know we've gotten some comments on YouTube and like, you guys have names? Yes, I'm Jay, this is Steven. Our other co-host, Damien, episode 35.
He has a last name, we don't.
Yeah, we don't need last names.
I'll edit that.
Take that one out.
Damien,
His home address is,
All right, well, I grabbed some used discs that I thought were really cool.
Yeah, let's touch
So
on them.
I wanted to show them real quick. This one is a Star Shark, and I just thought it was cool because it's a Star Shark. But Jay told me it's a pre-flight number Star Shark, so it's even cooler than I thought it was. But yeah,
So you just grabbed it because it was a Star
yeah,
Shark.
I
You
just
didn't
thought it
realize
was super cool that it's just a Star Shark. But
Made
yeah,
before 2008, so it's got the flight numbers, it's got the penning on the back, and the flight number system was made in 2008. So
and it's a 180 gram, so this is a heavy one. That's cool though. This one I thought was cool. It's a Chariot from Infinite Disc, and it's the LVC stamp. It's literally brand new.
is it brand new? Hasn't
yeah.
been thrown?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the used bin. Somebody traded it in, but it's literally brand new. I mean, it may be thrown like once or twice.
That's why it's on Jay's faves.
No ink, nothing. But this thing's beautiful. The halo and everything looks amazing on these ones I've been doing. It's like almost like 3-colored halo. Which,
Yeah, because the pink kind of bleeds into the
awesome.
yellow, which makes it pink, orange, yellow.
And
It's beautiful, yes.
And this is a great feeling mid-range. I think there's another one in the used bin as well. It's not.
It's a Joel
not
Freeman
Not an
Chariot.
LVC, but
I
yeah.
know which one you're talking about.
But that one was awesome. This one's one that I really like, and I know you bag. Maybe not this exact one, but the Escape.
Yep.
But this one's awesome. It's really glidey.
Pretty
and
understable.
A little more understable than the normal Escapes.
Yep.
But yeah, this one's awesome in the used bin. It's just barely been thrown. I mean, it has a little wear and tear, but not too bad. Here's another one, Innova Made PD. So I know a lot of people really like the Innova Made stuff, and a lot of people really like PDs.
Yeah, Innova Made Discmania
So-
has a big following.
Yeah, this has ink in it. It looks like it's had probably like 2 owners, but it's really not terribly used.
Still a 7 out of
It's-
10.
Yeah, it's a solid disc. So this one's cool. This one definitely has been used a little bit more. It's the Big Z Nukes, but it's $6 in the used bin. And these are the ones like Anthony Barella and like all the Discraft guys just crush, is these Big Z ones.
Yeah, Barella's been throwing that red
So-
Big Z Nuke quite a lot this season.
This is probably going to be an absolute bummer for somebody
I would think
if
so.
they came in here and picked it up.
You got a 13-speed arm.
So then we have a Tournament Prince. This one I don't think has any ink on it either. It's been thrown a few times. This just got released a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah, someone brought it back already.
this is already back in the used bin. And
We've heard it called the Baby General.
Yeah, and I've thrown it a handful of times. It's not as stable as you would probably think. It's still a stable distance driver, but
Yep.
it's not like beefcake
Dumpy.
dumpy. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's pretty much what you would expect. It's like a slightly straighter Rive, pretty much. But yeah, and the Rives I don't feel like are super overstable either, especially compared to some of the other ones. But here we have some of the Tour Series. We have 3 of the Tour Series discs, which have been super hot in the store.
The Discraft Tour Series stuff.
Yes, sorry, thank you. And this is Z-Flex, the Venom. This is the Anthony Barella Venom, which these are awesome too. I haven't thrown one of these yet.
I heard they're slightly more understable than a normal Venom.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to throw this. We'll do this versus the Prince, and we'll see which
Oh, that
one's
would be
better.
a fun video. Who makes the
Then-
better 13 overstable?
Yeah, because I think they're actually the same flight. Yeah,
Just
they're
about.
the exact same flight numbers. So
Fun.
yeah, then I have the Vulture, the Holland Hanley Vulture.
Vulture's an underrated disc.
That's a cool disc. And actually, there's a titanium one in there too.
Oh yeah,
which
the
is
TI just hit the bin today.
really cool. And then the Raptor. Sorry, I have to read these. I'm not exactly sure what all these are, but the Raptor. But these are just awesome. They've been flying off our shelves. I know you can't get enough of them, it seems like. But that's kind of the used disc that I picked out just to kind of showcase for the podcast. So
It's
you-
because I forgot to do the live today. I
it's
know.
okay. It's okay. We'll forgive you. Maybe. So, yeah, that's just a quick little rundown of what's kind of new in the used bin. What's really cool in the used bin, too.
Sweet. And then the next stack of discs we have, we went through before the episode here and picked out some underrated discs. Some discs that I don't think get enough credit.
Cool. You going to start us off?
I guess so. The first one's the AVR, and I know a lot of people are going to break out their pitchforks and torches about the AVR is not an underrated disc. It kind of is, because I don't have anybody coming in here asking for AVRs. This is a disc that I kind of grew up with and grew out of, in a way, because I moved from AVR to P2 to Magnet to something else to Rico, and then it's been Rico from here on out. So I think everybody kind of starts with it, but I don't know how many people actually stick with the AVR.
Yeah.
It's still a great putter. This is what, especially the KC Pro. KC Pro's a different mold with the bead on it. And this is what most of the Innova Pros putt with. Pretty sure Calvin's using them. AB used them when he was with Innova. So AVR,
Nice.
pretty underrated.
The next one, which I think this is one of the coolest looking discs, is the Maverick.
Easily the coolest underrated disc in the store.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But
Especially these.
It's a 7-speed. It's it's pretty straight. It's a little understable even for me.
Well, it's like the Trilogy Leopard.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's not, I tried to use it as a roller, and it's even with as much power as I can put into this disc, I really had to force the roller, but it would go straight forever. And when you throw like air shots, they would just slightly turn and then kind of come back out softly at the end. So
Okay.
they actually bombed, but they just weren't going as far as some of my like 8 and 9 speed discs, so it didn't stay in my bag. But it's awesome if you're looking for like kind of a straight to understable 7-speed.
Yeah, people that like the Maverick love the Maverick.
And this is awesome. It's
And
the
there's
red,
not-
white, and blue, like Raptor. Well, not Raptor Eye, but whatever they call the.
Well, it is that Raptor Eye style.
Yeah, I forget what they call it. It's something else, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Where are you putting these here? Cool. Next one I want to talk about is the Culprit. So a lot of the ones I picked out were DD or Trilogy, anyways. 'Cause that's what I throw the most.
Well, and
of.
I just threw one of these the other day too, so
Oh,
I
did
can
you?
see. Yeah, I threw
Nice.
it during our in the bag video. Well, when I
Oh,
made a bag
yeah.
out of the I threw the Culprit a few times after that.
How'd you like it? Because you
I did
a
quite
lot.
like it.
Yeah.
Forehand flex shots, like kind of soft. It's not as beefy as like a slammer, so you kind of have to account for that, but it does the job that it's supposed to. That's for sure.
Yeah, really
It's a
similar.
zone.
Really similar to a zone. I think it just has a tiny micro bead, which I don't think
Little
the
bead.
zones have. I'm not sure.
No, the
So that's literally like the only difference, because I think all the dimensions and everything are about the same. It feels super
shallow,
similar.
which is great.
Yeah.
The micro bead,
Super.
you don't really feel the bead in your hand. At least
But-
I didn't when I threw.
No,
throwing it.
it's barely there.
Yeah.
It just sits nicely right on your finger, actually. This is the prototype one, and we have a handful of prototypes,
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
which these are really cool. I remember buying it when it first came out as a prototype, and I was like, this disc is awesome. And I really liked it. So, yeah, I replaced it with the Anvil, which could also be up on this list too, but it's just a touch less stable than the Anvil.
Yeah,
So,
and a little bit slower too.
yeah.
Next up is this lift. This Streamline lift, I think, has to be, it's got to be up there with the Squall as far as the best underrated discs out there. This disc is awesome. It is just like an Escape, and I don't know if everybody knows how much I love the Escape. I think the Escape is one of the best discs out there. This flies just like it. It's just a Streamline Escape. Hyzer flip, smooth, long turnovers, especially as they beat up. Then it kind of turns into a Sidewinder after a year or two, and they turn into absolute bombers, man. Great roller discs. Can't say enough great things about it. The plastic's great because it's MVP. I really do like their plastics outside of the stuff, the ring.
So is this pretty similar to like the Insanity? Because it looks like similar flight numbers.
It's exactly, it's what an Insanity is supposed to be.
Okay.
Insanity's a little touchy on which plastic flies which way.
Depending, okay.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I haven't thrown one of these, but it feels awesome.
Love the lift.
They feel great.
it's so good.
Cool.
Worth
one.
trying.
So this is the
The MD3.
yeah, which I haven't thrown one of these actually.
I threw one for the first time after our in the bag video. I threw one in the bag to replace the EMAC Truth, and really impressed with the torque resistance of it. It didn't stand up and turn on my full power. It kind of held onto the line I put it on, which I really enjoyed.
And that was a used one, so it wasn't like you just got
that's
it
right.
off the shelf.
That's
Yeah,
right. It wasn't
so-
brand new.
Yeah, they're cool. I mean, they feel great, and a lot of the artwork on them are awesome.
They're pretty
which
sweet.
I think is really cool. Like this is the Eagle McMahon
That
Iron
one glows.
Samurai 3. Oh, they glow?
That one glows.
That's even cooler. Okay, that might take this one home. But there's a couple more that we have. The other Iron Samurai.
That's right. So that's the chroma plastic. It's like Chameleon from Latitude.
Yeah. So I forget which one. It might be a 2 or the
C
normal.
line, S line.
But yeah, so there's a bunch of different ones, and we have just the S line ones. I think there's normal C line.
There's C line, S line. Yeah, we got them all.
Yeah, they're all over here. But yeah, it feels great though. I actually kind of want this one now.
That's a great flyer, honestly. I was really impressed.
All right, this is one that I wanted to put in here because I just feel like they don't ever move in the store. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person here that buys them.
And the verdict is just like your Colt, the Maverick. If you throw it, you love it.
Yes.
You know, and it's got a small like cult following. I
Yeah.
feel like.
So yeah, I had a tournament this past weekend, and my Claymore was just turning over a little bit too much, and that's normally like my straight,
Yep.
slightly understable mid. And I have a really beat-in verdict that I also got here. I just started relying on that, and it felt like it really improved my game after like those first 2 shanks with my Claymore. Because Claymore's a great disc, but I just felt like I really relied on this.
Well, I think it was
A
probably your
lot.
tournament juices were flowing a little heavier than normal, so the Claymore was just doing what it normally does.
Yeah, I literally cut rolled it twice, and I never ever cut.
Yeah, you
rolled
lose
it.
your trust then
Yeah, and I'm
after
like,
that.
okay, I'm throwing the verdict. But yeah, this thing is awesome. I can't talk better about this. This is my go-to. Like, just straight, slightly overstable disc. My beat in one is just dead straight. I can give it some turn and it'll hold it. But yeah, these are awesome. I just feel like not a lot of people throw them.
It's an overstable buzz for those that are looking.
Yeah, and
beadless. It's got a great shape to it.
it has a tiny
It does
micro
have a little
bead.
tiny bead on it.
It's just actually really similar to this micro bead. They're very like not noticeable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there, but it's not not very big. But yeah, it feels great in the hand. But maybe I'll switch you from an EMAC Truth eventually.
You're not going to do that. Sorry, buddy. Next up here, we got a CAC Z. I think this is one of the best discs to ever be discontinued because they don't make the CAC Z no more. And that is so incredibly disappointing for me, who's been throwing one for years now. Especially in the soft plastic, it really will hyzer flip up and turn for a long time before having a nice solid fade and skip at the end. The glows and the K1s were way more torque resistant, so they'd hyzer flip up to straight, fly more like what the flight numbers did. So I would bag both because, especially in the trees, the K1 softs are absolute tree carver line hitting, perfect. If you don't quite want to throw a driver, but you feel like you don't have the distance on your mid-range, this thing filled the gap perfectly. So it really sucks they stopped making these.
Yeah, I haven't thrown one before, but I kind of want to. Like, there's going to be a handful of these. I'm like, I got to throw this.
That's my last one in the store. I was just happy
really?
to even have one on the shelf. Yeah.
Jeez. And this is one I actually thrown quite a bit. This is a, hold on, Discmania PD. Sorry. I'm like, wait a minute, brain fart. The Discmania PD. And so my brother actually got me one of these when I first started playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was like the Italian plastic or something
when
that
they
they were
first
doing.
started doing that C-line plastic.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, this thing's awesome. And I was bagging a Felon at the same time. And this was just like a straighter Felon, but still had that dump at the end. So I ended up getting an S-line one, S-line one as well. And that's the one that was actually a little straighter. That C-line, Italian C-line was a little bit more overstable.
Sure, as makes sense.
But yeah, this is such an awesome disc. Like if I was to switch my whole bag to Discmania, this would probably take the replacement for my Felon.
Nice.
So it feels really similar, actually.
Well, then you can bag a couple
Felon.
different plastics and trust that one's more overstable than the other,
Yeah.
which is always nice.
Yeah, but yeah, it's awesome. And I've seen a lot of the pros and stuff just throw these once they beat in, just dead straight. Sometimes some turn on them.
Yeah, it
So-
feels like all the pros are throwing the PD. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
but yeah,
Simon certainly did.
and we have a ton of them. Like
Yeah, we
most
do.
of these discs, we have a ton of. Besides the CAC Z, I think that might be the only exception. But yeah,
I agree.
That's our stack that we have.
That's
So,
a great underrated stack.
Yeah. Then next week we might do overrated. So if you guys have some overrated disc ideas, let us know because we'll try to feature them if we have them in the store.
Yeah, give us your overrated disc because I know I have my personal biases. I would love to hear what other people think are overrated discs. And don't you dare say the Berg.
That was my first one.
Don't
on the
you
list.
dare.
But nice.
Cool. Well, now up next, I think we're going to do a Squatch comparison.
Okay.
Let you and Damien hammer this out.
Nice.
Looking forward to hearing what you two have to say about the pros and cons of the Squatch.
The old man chair.
Old man chair.
You hit record, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
So that's the first time us doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back. You've been gone for.
You've been gone longer than me.
No, I'm saying like 10 minutes or so.
Oh yeah. Thanks. I went and worked on the tech disc there. I got my. I'm really working hard on how I'm taking it back right now.
Okay. Like the reach back part?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Okay.
do more of a Simon Lizotte where, and even a Ricky Wysocki where they're almost holding it and then walking around it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not reaching.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it where I'm comfortable, and then I'll turn and then
Okay.
pull the
Or
trigger.
you're moving your body around the disc, not
Right.
necessarily pushing the
I
disc back.
used to have it to where I was really moving this arm a lot, and then it became a timing thing.
Okay.
And now I'm holding it still and walking around it.
Okay.
And then you actually do that too, whether you
Yeah.
know it or not, but you do.
That's something that I know Ezra Aderhold has talked about a lot on his YouTubes. So that's where I learned it from, kind of. I tried my best.
I'm finding more consistency. I'm finding that I see peripheral, like where I want to go. So the last thing I'm doing is I see exactly where I want to go. So when I'm taking it back, I still have that visual in my mind of where I want to pull it through.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
it's becoming way more consistent. So
And that's actually
excited
something
about
that's something that Tech Disc is working on
Yes.
too. So they're looking from a top-down view of the tee box. So you
Okay.
can actually see where your pull through is. So if you're rounding, it's going to give you like a curve. If you're pulling straight through, it's going to give you
Oh,
that.
that's going
and
to
if
be
you're
huge.
delaying it, it's going to show that it's delayed and then pulled through.
That's going to be
So
huge.
yeah, that's awesome. Which Tech Disc, I can't give them enough props. Everything about Tech Disc is awesome. So
Well, Steven's involved with the guys at Tech Disc, so he knows what's coming and more than the rest of us. You're part of the beta. And
some of the
extra-
cool stuff with Tech Disc. I don't know
Yeah.
everything, but yeah,
But-
I know a
but-
little bit more than the average person.
Right. So, but when you think about that, to me, that's super important to know, because rounding will kill. It doesn't matter who you are. That'll kill your distance
Yeah.
instantly. So to know that it's there through Tech Disc, which is the one variable that isn't in there right now,
Yeah.
will make it even better.
It's awesome. I'm so excited about that feature. But
So, bags. Jay gave me this bag a couple of weeks ago, and I've taken it out in the course a few times now, and it's the highest quality bag I've ever carried. There's no question about it. I think it's well made. I love where you put the phone and it snaps with the magnet.
yeah, it's nice.
You see that with Calvin's commercial where he's doing that, and it's just sort of something very catchy about that.
Yeah.
This is a great big pocket for beverages and whatnot. I think my only knock that I'll throw in there is that I carry in Arizona a pretty big bottle of water in like a Yeti type of thing.
Okay.
And there isn't anything on these bags that sort of keeps it in place.
Oh, really?
No.
Because I feel like mine did. I didn't have that bag. Let me see. Yeah, it's on this side, but it has like a little divider in here.
I have a divider. There's a divider on
okay.
this side.
But you're saying it doesn't have it on both sides, or
It doesn't have it on both sides, which is fine, but the divider's here. But the problem is that half of my bottle is out because it's tall.
Gotcha.
And then if I keep it on my shoulder and I go to put the marker down, the water will
falls
fall
out.
out. There isn't anything to sort of lock it in place. Now, I don't know what this is for. I suppose maybe I could use that.
yeah, I think I've used that for my little like chairs and stuff, or like a retriever if you kind of want to just
Yeah.
shove it in that side pocket. But
Yeah.
yeah, I could see how having a bigger bottle definitely would suck. in
Yeah,
side.
that's the only thing I don't think they really thought about was,
Yeah.
you know, most bottles will actually fit in there. Well, we're in the desert. We drink more than the average bear down here.
Yeah. 'Cause
So we need to carry these bottles that are this tall, and it really doesn't have a good feature on this bag
yeah. Yeah, because
to-
I had the
to make
link.
that convenient.
I had the link before, which is the same pockets as these, and I could put two of the 32-ounce Nalgene bottles in there, but they're not super tall, so
Yeah.
it would zip and it would
Yeah.
fit that. But if you have anything taller than a Nalgene, it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Even like some of the taller water bottles,
Yeah.
they just don't really fit in there super great.
Now, having said that, convenience is on the outside. I could always, there's enough room to throw it in here
Okay.
and zip it, and
Yeah.
I'm good. And I probably should,
Yeah.
and I just haven't had enough time with the bag to really do that, but there it is. But one thing I've noticed, when you open this side pocket, there's all kinds of extra pockets.
Nice.
There's things to, like if you have keys or something that's
Yeah.
special that you don't want to lose, and then there's a mesh, and then they have just a bigger area.
That's the same even on this one. So I have like my disc retriever.
Yeah.
In this top pocket, I have my range finder. I have like all kinds of stuff that I keep in here. And on the other side is normally where I put my phone. So it's
Yeah.
inside, a little bit more protected from the
Yeah.
elements here. But
Yeah.
and I think even on this
So you
one,
can see both sides. There's a pocket here, and then there's pockets all the way down the sides.
I think even on this
On both
board-
sides.
I think
That's
it,
nice.
I think it could hold probably a taller drink than yours would, because it actually goes up quite a bit more,
That's kind
and
of
it
cool.
has the Velcro.
That's kind of cool.
I don't know if it would be like your size water bottle, but
No,
I think it would.
wouldn't.
I think it would still hold something
would
a little taller than that one.
It would fit it.
Yeah.
It would fit it.
But the cool thing with this, I've had 3 mids in the side pocket here, and you could do like 4 drivers if you really want to.
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
this pocket was much better. It's a little bit more pronounced. It's
Yeah.
out more. This is pretty sleek.
Yeah.
But that one was super nice. But I got used to this really quick, having 3 mids in here, and then now I'm completely downsized where I don't have any
Yeah.
discs at all in the sides. But I cannot say enough good things about Squatch bags. at
Yeah.
all.
And there's a ton of room on the top, and I never feel as though this thing is isn't supported where you can sometimes get a lot of weight up here.
Yeah.
And bags can get a little tilty on one side or another.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel like at all the case.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think is a real plus for these bags, you have this mechanism here where if it's wet outside, you can pull on this and it'll keep it up and off the ground. And I'm not doing a good job of that, but you get the idea.
I got it.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah. So it'll keep it up off the ground. That's a really clever idea.
Yeah.
It has these hooks that come across if you're really getting into a hike. Maybe you're in a long par 5, but it also has the opportunity to take that off, which I will take this off. I don't like it on there.
I took mine off. I'm not a fan of that cross buckle,
But overall, I give the bag high props. I'd say if I'm to score it somewhere in the 8 out of 10 range. I think they got to fix the bigger beverage stuff, but it can still go in that pocket, so it's not the end of the world. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I think they did a great job on the quality of this, and you've been in the service, so you're sort of a backpack snob.
Yeah, I'm a backpack snob for sure. So I have all Mystery Ranch bags. So any of you guys are like hunters or backpackers will know what that is. But like just to get like the small one that's probably this size is like a $400 bag. I think this bag is the closest thing in disc golf to that bag.
Wow, that's
So
high praise.
It really is good. It's not perfect, but it's also half the price of a Mystery Ranch bag. So I think for disc golf, it's best bang for the buck in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I love it. I have zero complaints about mine.
Yeah.
And this one's smaller too, so that's kind of the thing.
And that's soft bottom too, and you have had no problems with water or moisture?
No, yeah, and it's they use this extra, what is it, Cordura fabric on the bottom, which is even more resilient than some of the stuff on the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome.
They're great bags. We couldn't be, I think overall, what did you give yours a grade?
I don't know. I think it's the best bag I've ever used. I think for the price, because this one comes in at exactly $200. I don't think you're getting a better bag for $200.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So
Wow.
I mean, for the $200 category, like $200 and down, probably a 10. But if you start bringing in other bags that are more than that, then it just depends on what you want.
That
what
makes a
you're
lot of
looking
sense.
for.
No,
So,
I agree.
but
So this one runs about, what do we sell these, 280?
something like
Jay,
that.
270?
I think they're 270.
For the Calvin Tour is 270. For that one it's 260.
Okay.
Okay.
So 260, $60 more. You get another
Yeah, and you get a lot more storage in that one.
for $60.
So
It's almost a no-brainer. But in Arizona, I'm just throwing mids right now and super happy about it. I'm carrying a smaller one than this. But for tournaments, this is going to be my bag. I love it.
yeah.
It's a great bag.
Yep.
Great job, Squatch. Thank you. We are not paid.
Yeah, not sponsored, not paying,
Yeah.
not in their beta testing, not in any of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just awesome bags. I really